So the UN is now warning that the Strait of Hormuz crisis could push millions of people into poverty because the most critical choke point in the entire world, which 20% of the world's oil supply travels through, and 25% to 30% of the world's fertilizer supply also travels through. Because this choke point has been closed off, it's going to have serious long term consequences for the entire world, like food shortages. I've already talked about this in previous videos, but we're already seeing rising gas prices that are just going up so quickly. Before this conflict started, I was able to get gas for 284 and now it's 450, and we're well on track to hitting $5, and we're probably even going to see $6 a gallon soon as well at this rate. The thing people need to realize is that this conflict is only escalating, and Iran is now saying that the U.S. has crossed the point of no return. So obviously, they're just making it clear that it's just more and more escalation going on. And these gas prices are to the point where every single day that I drive by these gas stations, I just get irritated just seeing the rising cost, how quickly it just keeps going up and up and up. And California is already dealing with $6 gas. You know, what makes people think for a second that it's not possible for that to become the average? Because at this rate, with all this escalation going on and the Strait of Hormuz remaining closed, I remember when these clowns even had the audacity to lie and say that the Strait of Hormuz was open. Clowns like Donald Trump making up all his lies every single day. A lot of it is because of market manipulation as well. Just something to keep in mind. But anybody with a functioning brain doesn't believe the lies that come out of this clown's mouth on a daily basis. But yeah, I remember when they lied saying that the Strait of Hormuz was back open again and all this nonsense to give people fake optimism and all these stories about ceasefire, this and that. And Trump yet again lying as usual, saying, oh, there's still a ceasefire. But like I said, it's only more and more escalation going on. All this ceasefire talk is literal nonsense. And like I said, gas prices are going to keep going up, but just wait until you see the groceries go up even more because of this situation. Because it's not just affecting gas, this is affecting the food supply. This is going to affect grocery prices very soon. And this is also going to start affecting your electricity bill and your airplane trip costs as well. Speaking about airplane trips, Spirit Airlines recently just shut down indefinitely. And the rising fuel costs from the Strait of Hormuz closure was basically like the final blow for them. Yeah, they were already struggling for years, but that was like the final blow for them, the rising fuel costs. And all these things are already expensive right now. Everything in this economy is already expensive right now. Can you just imagine it getting even more expensive on top of the current costs that we're already dealing with just to afford to live? It's going to start becoming a luxury just to afford to go from point A to point B. Just to afford to go from point A to point B is going to start becoming a luxury soon. It's too expensive, especially if you're somebody who doesn't have a fuel efficient vehicle. One more thing I want to mention about the Spirit Airlines shutdown is that approximately 17,000 people lost their jobs from them shutting down completely. So that's another 17,000 people unemployed, looking for a new job in an already horrible job market. And no matter what people do these days, the working class is going to continue to get screwed over from every angle. Everything you try to do in this economy is just getting more and more difficult to succeed in. And the job market is a perfect example of that. You could do everything right, and you'll still struggle to get something that pays you a good income. So, yeah, people are getting screwed over from every angle. Everything's going to continue getting more expensive. We're well on track to getting over $5 a gallon and even $6 a gallon. We're about to see skyrocketing grocery prices eventually. Groceries are already ridiculously expensive right now, but they're going to get a whole lot worse soon. And all these fake narratives about ceasefire and this whole thing about, oh, peace deal and all this nonsense is just all fake optimism, market manipulation, BS, fake narratives. These are all fake narratives to try to give people fake optimism. And I'm not falling for it. I'm not buying into it. Because anybody who even understands the basics of how the economy works knows that this is going to have serious long-term consequences. We haven't even seen anything yet. Trust me, I know it's bad enough right now with the affordability crisis, but you just wait until you start seeing what the long-term consequences of this situation are going to be. Because what's coming is going to make our current situation look like nothing in comparison. It's going to get so bad eventually that people are going to be resorting to, there's this saying called desperate times call for desperate measures. People are going to get extremely desperate with what's coming. And you're going to start seeing things like retail theft skyrocketing. The rates of retail theft will skyrocket. The rates of people doing this to themselves. I can't really say it on here. I really don't want to, for obvious reasons. I try to be careful what I say on this platform, but the rates of people doing this to themselves are going to skyrocket because just affording to live is going to get so much more difficult than what it already is right now. So just prepare yourselves. This isn't fear mongering. I'm not going to be one of those people that lie to your face and tell you things are going to get better when obviously there's every sign that you can think of that literally shows you that things are not going to get better. I've said this in a previous video, but when all these things go up in price, they never go back down. I'm not saying that gas prices don't go down. We do see certain periods where gas prices do go down. But with this situation, I don't see that happening anytime soon because, like I said, just more and more and more escalation. We're well on track to going over $5 and even hitting $6 a gallon at this rate if this continues. So, yeah, just prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves for what's to come.